Good morning and welcome to my podcast, Fight CPS with Bob Pace. Also, to try to save your children. Uh, it's a warm welcome. I know where you all are at in life. It's a struggle to have your children suddenly taken away from you. And I regret to inform you that the CPS that I have heard from people has been very corrupt and very bad, including my case. Yes, I was also in CPS hands. I'm a father of 6 children, 3 older ones and 3 younger ones. And my 3 younger ones were kidnapped. They were not in imminent danger. They were taken from me and my wife on hearsay by a family member or members. My wife's parents and her brothers and sisters orchestrated for 5 years of child abuse and child neglect accusations. And for 5 years, I fought them off. It was really a tough battle. There are two kinds of people that make allegations. One are professionals required by law to report any signs of abuse or neglect. So if you're a teacher and your student comes to school with bruises all over, she's going to talk to the child and she's going to call CPS. They're going to send out an investigator who will do further investigation. The problem being is that the Child Protection Agency has gone rogue. They are corrupt. They look at it as a business encounter. They make $80 billion a year from the federal government, pays them to take care of children, supposedly take care of. Nothing about family reunification. They talk about it sporadically, and it's sad. It really is sad there. Now, before I get much more started with my stories or things that can help you, I want to tell you how you can interact with this podcast. The first way is just to be in this room. When you're in this room, you're fine. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to call in or, you're in this room to listen. And maybe there's some things that people in this room can help you with or I can help you out with. Now, if you're one of those people that likes an answer to your question, please follow this when typing in the comments of your CPS question. Good morning. Hello?
Bob,
Yeah.
are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, well, I was just trying. Good morning. This is Christina, and I was trying to find you on Facebook. And so I was trying to. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine, Christina.
Yeah, you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I was trying to find you, and I couldn't. So I was trying to call the office because. So now that you're here, I should be able to see, and we can hang up. I'm just trying to watch you this morning.
Well, no, if you want to talk, you're perfectly well to talk. I'm just going over how you can interact with the room. But you can't find me on Facebook. Did you find Fight CPS Bob Pace? Do you search it that way?
Yeah, I just couldn't find it.
That's weird because I am on Facebook and people do find me on Fight CPS.
It's just your live. It's not letting me connect. So, anyways.
Well, then stay on the phone and you can talk and we can help you.
Well, maybe I can explain something to you. It's because I first had an. Okay, I'll wait. Okay, I can wait.
Well, no, Christina. I'm just going to finish up with how they interact. So
you mean I'll call back?
No, you don't need to call back. Just stand by, okay? Because someone else may call in. So This way you got guaranteed to call in. So stay there, okay?
There's an echo. Yeah, but there's an echo.
Yeah, the reason why there's an echo is you have my show on and my phone. Are you looking at my show on your computer?
No, I couldn't find you, but let me see what's going on.
Maybe you have me somewhere. Are you watching me from your phone?
Let me look. I'm going to look. Hold on.
Okay.
I'll look while you're busy.
All right. Now, when typing in a comment, your CPS questions, try to pertain to CPS. This is not a political forum, and I know politics are important, but we just want to stick with CPS related questions. CPS related questions. Please show your name, city, state, or country and be complete with your CPS case. And when I mention country, I happen to have about 13 countries that have text comments from around the world. And I welcome everybody into this room. If it's about CPS, you all are welcome, whether from the United States or from other countries. I've had Bangladesh text me a message. I've had New Delhi, India, text me a message. I've had the continent of Africa, 3 nations there. I've had South Africa, one of the provinces, text in a message. Then I had across from Madagascar on the east side of Africa is Mozambique. And then a little bit further in the central east of Africa, I've been in Rwanda, who had a terrible incident in the 90s where 1 million people were wiped out and 400,000 women were raped. And then going up the coast to North Africa is a place called Liberia. And that's a guy named Archie texts us in from time to time. And you hear how things are going. Right now, it's evening in Africa. Then we move over to Europe. I've had England, Scotland, and Wales, the United Kingdom. And then I've had also Sweden and Denmark that have texted messages. Across the pond, North America, I've had Canada on both coasts. I've had all the 50 states, including Washington, D.C., I've talked to. And then Mexico, south of the border, I've talked to. Going further south to South America, Guyana was a place that I have texted in. They have a coastal town called Georgetown. They're east of Venezuela and above Brazil. And then going across the Pacific Ocean to the land down under is Australia. They've also called in. So I've had these many countries, and so they're welcome to call in and ask a question. Now, when I say be complete with your case, it's important whether you call in or text in that you state your whole case. What I mean by that is that you start off with the makeup of your family. Is it a husband, wife? Is it, boyfriend, girlfriend? Is it partnership? Is it lovers? And then also, do the children have the same parents or they have different parents? Are those parents both involved with the children? And then how many children are you having? Are they boys or girls or teenagers? Please identify them. And then you want to tell me what thing you were charged with by the CPS system. Was it negligence or was it abusive or both? And what were the details of that? Also, how were your children taken? Were they taken from your home? Did you give permission to let them into your home? Did you give permission for them to take your children? How were they taken? Were they in extreme danger at the time that CPS was in your home, or did you not allow them in your home? Did you take them down to the CPS office? So if you tell me those things, and then tell me where your case is today. That'll make it complete. So that is a second way that you can interact with this podcast. A third way is to be a guest on my show. I've had several guests in the last couple of days, and to be scheduled as a guest, all you have to do is email our show producer, which is Grace. She works behind the scenes. I thank her for what she does, and she helps me, and she'll help you. She'll help you with the link to SteamYard, and she'll help you with what to do as a guest on the show, such as no eating or smoking. Her email is grace@vincentwdavis.com. Grace@vincentwdavis.com. And you send her one of my days. I'm on 14 times a week. I'm on mornings at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, except for Sunday, I'm on at 8 a.m. In the evening, I'm on at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every day of the week. That's Monday through Sunday. So all you do is you tell her in your email, I want to be on Bob's podcast Sunday morning. I want to be on Bob's podcast Wednesday evening. So you just tell her that. Again, her email is grace@vincentwdavis.com. Grace@vincentwdavis.com. So that's the third way. Now, the fourth way is you can call me by phone, which right now Christina is on the line and she's waiting for me to do my examples. That's why I don't put my phone up right away, is that so people don't start calling because I have to go over some things first and I hate for them to have to wait. But my phone number is 626-698-0990. That's 626-698-0990. And you can call me on my show times. If it's before or after my show times, I can't talk. I'll leave you a message, but I can't talk there. So, since Christina's on the phone, I'm going to temporarily hide the phone number because I can only talk to one person at a time. Christina, would you like to refresh the listeners where you're from and what your case is about?
Well, just I'm from California, is where I was went through the system between the age of 13, 16, and then where my case is at is, but right now I don't live in California, and then it grew to another negligence in '94 in the state of Nevada when I went to try to protect my kids, because even though my kids were saying vile to the cop and to the attorney, people at the hospital, and there was no due process for them, and it was before a trial. The kids were going to live with the person the next day, and it's like they're like, well, because Christina, the mom, moves, jumps around a lot. But even though I was believed by the attorney general investigator, the guy, and the girl from the car, the retired police officer that had been shot, they said I had two things on my side. They both believed me at the hospital. But then later at the police department, my kids are going to be with who they accused of being vile to him without a trial or a CPS worker. And because I jump around a lot, but now I was just today they actually took my whole complaint because I was following up, even though I was waiting on a phone call from the constituent from Carson City. Because when the Mexican person hung up on me yesterday, and the way she was attacked, over talking and just vile after she had figured out who I was the day after everyone in CPS in Las Vegas and the court had said, she emailed her, how you say you were trafficked through the Child Haven in 1980. And then so when she figured out that I had a case, the '94 where they're using my person against, my children, I guess. And So right when she did that and hung up, I called back to the Child Haven where her traffic, and in that conversation, I lost my breath. And when I hung up, I could not. I was gasping for air, and already I have an injury against strain level, lack of oxygen. So it was really rough. So then I calmed down, and I called the senator here for my district, who was given permission through Carson City it's a constituent, and to do so, and my son to address the law that was broken to the kids against them in Washington. But meanwhile, because I'm looking for a missing, the first detective part in the 78 pages that the Attorney General on the 27th anniversary, or not Attorney General, the legislation received it and sent it to Carson City. But then when I got to Carson City, it was a year later because I'm sidetracked with these PTSD, these children, these different grown-ups, and so I was distracted, especially by my boy, who I have to continue my thought. And so today I was able to report my the 1980 the child the CPS hotline, and for what it's worth, I'm like, well, thank you, and she's typing it up. But meanwhile, I'm taking, because I want it to be understood that is why from the age of 11 to 13, I've been in 7 schools, 4 states, had my head hit up against the wall, and my horse people I was sitting on them, and different stuff, and sitting by the road, sleeping by a road and a highway, and then, but few months later, they're going to be on the 601, which is incorrigible, and I'm like, no way. And so to be trafficked, I'm able to file a complaint in Riverside with the court and a grievance with the juvenile probation. They're pulling my record. But meanwhile, I'm trying to speak for my son, and she was so rude because I thought he could start his grievance. My son at 7 and told the cops in the cop car and blah, blah. And she was so nasty. So then I was out breath how I didn't have I called the Gabe and I just said, the Senate, and I said, I know you're waiting on me in the Department of Justice to fill in that gap, but now my little girl piece is important because these doctor evaluations against me, it's all being rubbed in my face, and it's hard for me to keep editing. Between the age of 11 and 16, I had been in 14 schools, one of them being a summer school, but 13 schools, and I'm trafficked with no CPS. Where's the person, like no plan, no case plan when I've been shot up and violated in foster care because I went looking for my parents. Strangers said that they would take me, and then all of a sudden 3 years later just send me via bus, and the one that I'm hurt me is picking me up, and I want to file agreement. And so that's a lot of stuff I just said, right?
Yeah. Excuse me. I need to get some water. Hold on a second.
Told him yesterday, and I go, do you protect the police? Do you protect CPS?
Can we stop here for a second so I can recap everything? Apparently you were in foster care as a small child. And somehow I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry.
No. Were you in foster care yourself as a small child?
Huh?
Were you taken from your home as a small child?
No, I was trafficked at the age at 13. I'm trafficked. I've been sleeping by the road, by the highway, and I'm going to school. I was happy. I've been in at that point between 11 and 13, a 7 school. So I'm in my 7th or 6th school because I completed, and then it's summer, and then my 7th school, and then I'm going to be trafficked by strangers, and then 3 months later.
Well, why is the police not protecting you if you're being trafficking?
Right, or CPS, and I exhausted.
Well, no, CPS doesn't need to protect you. The law enforcement. This is happening where, in California or Nevada?
Yeah. So what happened is I was
No. Was it? I had a question. Was it California or Nevada?
It was in California.
Okay, it was in California. So where were the police?
What?
Was this what city in
There was
California?
no police. The only time there was the police is after I was away to Ward of the Court, and when I went looking for my family, walking down the street, then they would traffic me back to the place. That's when I saw the police.
Okay, can I ask you what city are you in California when this?
It was in Riverside,
Okay,
California.
where was the highway patrol or the California Highway Patrol? If you're walking on the street, you could have flagged them down and they would protect you.
Wait, where are you talking? What are we talking about?
Okay, I'm talking about Riverside. Riverside.
When I would leave the halfway houses off and on, and where I would go, like I just got to leave, and I'm putting between 15 and 16 because I just said I was at the carnival. I was very vague, and I'm like, no, I'm going to add. I was all over the place. People shooting me up, this kidnapping me, this that, and
Well,
then
yeah, I know that, but why did you not contact the Riverside police?
No, I went to the police once at the Pomona State Fair. I said, hey, someone hurt me. I don't know. It's not.
And what did the police do when you told them that they hurt you? What did they do?
No, when I told who that they hurt me.
You said you went to the Pomona Fair and you told the police that you were hurt.
So then someone had almost overdosed me, so I ended up in juvie and they sent me back to Sally. Where it is when they pick me up from a strange car in Nevada, because I've been trafficked by strangers over the mountain, and then juvenile hall transfers me to California, and then in California they're going to put me, have me evaluated in juvenile hall, and that person from the Riverside University Health System is going to evaluate me, and instead of having a red flag and having CPS involved at this point, when my answer to the question is one, is that my little sister wouldn't get hurt, who ends up abused. And I was careful with my words, and I didn't know how to say that. But remember, I had been, at that point, 4 states, 7 schools between the age of 11
yeah,
and
but
13,
I'm trying to say is
13.
that were you restrained that you couldn't talk to a local policeman anywhere?
Yeah. It was like they just picked me up and took me to Satellite. So in Vegas, a police officer picked me up from an alley from the strange.
Well, you need to tell the police officer that you've been kidnapped.
All I said was, no, at that point it wasn't kidnapped. No, that was.
No, you say you could be trafficking.
No, I just had to keep running. It's in my little girl piece. Once I went to the Fresno security guard and I said, hey, I'm a runaway. And he said, no, the guy says he's your boyfriend. I go, no.
No, here's the problem is security.
I did go to the
security.
They arrest me. And I'm taken to Riverside. That's what happened. Yes, I did go to the police when I could. Yes,
Why did they arrest you? Why did they arrest you? What crime did you commit?
They said I was a runaway. And I said, that was my way of getting away from the guy. I said, just take me. I'm a runaway. But it wasn't. I was just missing. My sister didn't report me when they sent me there because she hung up on me. No one cared where I was.
Well, I care, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of this.
When they sent me my sister who doesn't have a bed, and then when they didn't send, when I'm 16 to my mom who doesn't have a bed, it was no one to talk to me. And then I meet this person who hurts my kid, and I can't defend him because.
Well, we're talking about 2 different lives. I can't believe you've grown up, are having children, and not one police officer. I'm talking about real police, the Highway Patrol, the Riverside Police, the California Highway Patrol, the Nevada State Police. I mean,
my kid told the police in the police car after I had already tried to tell at the day at the hospital and at the police department after hours. And my kid had already said they believed me 2 times, but now after hours, even though my son said that in a police car, he said, I don't want to go home because my dad raped me. And he goes, what is the word rape me? He goes, I don't know if you heard me since I was 5. But Andrew had already told the people, my son had already told the people at the hospital what Daddy did. And then the next day they're living with Mike, and I'd never seen a CPS worker. I went to court,
the CPS worker wasn't protecting you. They are corrupt. And this is my example to tell people out there that CPS traffic children, and they don't care about children like yourself in need. Now, when you were 12, 13 years old, why couldn't you talk to the police then? What was stopping you then?
Well, when I needed to talk to the police, they found me because I didn't know how to knee. I was in school. Remember, I'm trafficked by strangers. All this stuff is happening around my house.
Yeah, but the thing is, you could walk. You could take a bus to the
opportunity. I don't know how to report what you're talking about. If you're talking about when my head was hit, or when different stuff, my life had already been threatened. You have to be specific. I don't know what you're talking about, because when there was different times the police were involved, and I'm just, why am I supposed to? Isn't a red flag when you're in an alley 2 states away and you're only 13 and you've been sleeping?
Well, they see a lot of runaways that have problems at home, but they should still. Did you see a woman? Did you ask for a woman police officer?
No.
Why not?
No. So the police officer, I don't know, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. The police officers have women and men. Police officers. Ma'am, you gotta let me talk. You gotta let me talk. You gotta let me talk. You're walking all over me. I'm telling you, the police department have men and women that work in the department. The women are supposed, the policemen are supposed to talk to runaways, to kids that are trafficked, or kids in needs. That is requirement.
I'm sorry, but when they pick me up and they take me to juvenile hall the next 2 days, I'm going to be without my clothes, and they take me everything I own, and I'm hostage for 7 months. And then they send me.
But then, kids you talk to, can you ask for a police sergeant? I cannot believe.
No, they have. Hostage means, well, I could run away, but it means I'm held under there in Riverside with no clothes as incorrigible when I wasn't incorrigible, so I'm wrongfully detained. And they have counselors. One says I have Vegemite. I mean, the police would come when I run away and come back. I didn't know how. How many schools? I told you how many schools and all the abuse. 7 schools in 4 states, and between 11 and 13.
And you didn't talk to the principal or counselors or teachers? Did you talk to the teachers? Did you talk to counselors?
Summer when we get child tickets, remember, and then when it starts.
See, I don't know where you've been, because I can't believe there isn't a public school that a teacher would not help you.
Public school, thank you. And the teacher wanted to see my mom, and then I'm walking off, and these people from the 7-Eleven, that's where they take me over the mountain, and I end up at juvenile hall, and then they traffic me to satellite, and nobody's asking me the right questions. When they do, I said,
I understand all that, but it's like bits and pieces. I don't understand your case, Christina, because I hear bits and pieces.
Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's okay.
No, it's not okay. I'm trying to transition from when you're a small child to you're a grown-up and have children. I'm trying to understand all these years. Was someone with a gun pointing at your head? Did someone have a gun at your head the whole time?
No, but my little girl piece, I show everything I did. I show my footwork, okay? And I can't just bring it out. It's so big. That's why I'm editing my little girl piece. And I said for you and the sports and everybody, but I don't have the ability. I've got a disability. I can't just answer that the way, it wasn't that simple. I don't know. It's too much to say, and I can't just answer that with you. But don't think I didn't try.
No, I imagine you did try, because you're so upset, you're so emotional that you're letting your emotionals control your behavior. I'm just trying to say there are thousands of policemen out there that enforce the law and take care of their children. I can't believe all 1,000 policemen are corrupt. And why is the state attorney?
No, I didn't say the police were corrupt. The police were not involved in my life until 94. My son.
Well, the police should have been involved in your life in the very beginning.
Except when they were arresting me and moving or taking me back and forth. But remember, people were shooting me up in the carnival between the age of 15 and 16. And already I had the disability because I had been in between the ages of 11 and 16, 13 schools. 11 and 16, 13 schools, that's a whole lot. Yeah. So how am I supposed to even know?
You are going to have to see a professional help, somebody that will help you. The people you're turning to have not helped you. You have been abused and taken advantage of, and I'm so sorry this has happened to you, but you need, if I could possibly come, I would come and get you and take you and get you better. to get you on your feet, to get you so that the people don't take advantage of you. Because what you're telling me now, you said something about the Attorney General. What state is the Attorney General involved with you?
Nevada, and then but right now.
So why is the Attorney General taking your case on? The Attorney General does not work for CPS.
No. So the guy came from the Attorney General's office in 1994 who believes me, and I have records that my kid told the police what I said when he was in the police car, and he goes, and that they both stated that there was something odd in the residence because both the kids state that dad did that bad thing, blah blah blah. Do you want me to say it? I will. And then they're not protected the next day, and whether it happened or not, you can't report stuff like that and honest. And without due process, like what
the policeman should have done, and I don't know why the Attorney General would make a special trip to see you, but they should have turned you over to. They should turn you. Can I finish, ma'am, Christina? Can I finish? They should turn you over. Okay, Shannon is listening. Which welcome Shauna. She's from Oklahoma. She's a Cherokee Indian, and she's involved with another crazy state. Right now, I think that Nevada and Oklahoma are crazy states. I have no idea. The reason why the Attorney General is seeing Shauna, she's a member of the tribe. She's a member of the tribe. Christina, please. I have to call her back. As you listeners are hearing, it's
okay, I'm gonna hang up. I'm gonna hang up. Okay?
Please don't hang up because I want to help you. You're running away from somebody here that can help you. There's nothing that's happened with my phone. Hold on a second. I'm right here.
My mom's Apache. My mom's Apache from the tribe where Geronimo was from at the same time.
Well,
she orphaned out 0.4 miles where they say Sergeant Cooney was scalped by the Apaches, and I think it's a lie because it was the tunnel where the gold came from, and that's just different. But my mom, also, she was, it was sad. Her parents died when she was 12, and why didn't she have a CPS person or a case plan? Why was she treated like thrown off the mountain? And
there are numerous of children that go through the fingers of CPS because CPS is concentrating on the dollar. They can't be trusted. But you have a horrible case. I cannot believe that you cannot seek help from anybody for
I got help now, Bob. They're waiting for me to find the piece that's missing, send it to the Department of Justice, give it to the guy here, the Congress in my district, and address the office in Washington.
Okay.
And then now they can do it, call me because of yesterday. It's like, go ahead, because even though you helped me, she's like, no, take the call. And I'm like, okay, because it's not like I'm doing something strange. I was trying to do a grievance from 80. It's something new. I just discovered how I was moved here and there. And my son, he wanted to go on talk shows. They said, no, wait for me. And why should he have to keep waiting when he's a 7-year-old? And now, I said, go ahead and file your grievance like I'm doing. And she was so rude. And that's why I even called Carson City. It's like, and people complained about her 12 years ago that they're like, they're a budsman in Las Vegas. Get rid of her. She's on CPS's side. And that's who was treating me like that. Well, I lost my breath yesterday. So I called the Senate here and be like, just put this on record until I get caught up with what I'm doing, my editing for my little girl piece, and the piece that's missing for the case in '94. But just put this there that my son, we had no voice, and it's because of this person. And then right away, without asking for air, I called Carson City, and who answered? After we were done, she goes, okay, I want to connect you to. She said, could you do it? I said, no, they're already helping me. I got an agency, but thank you so much. Never mind, goodbye. She's like, no, wait. And so they're supposed to call me back. And when they call me back, I'm just going to say what happened yesterday and what I'm doing to how bad all this stuff is distracting me. But now I got to adjust, and I'm going to work, and I'm going to edit, and I'm going to, and I'm going to deliver the grievances and the whatever it is. And it is.
Yes. You are going to be success at what you're doing. That is a great plan. just be very careful when you're talking to people. Be very, very careful.
Right. Yesterday I said a word because my son didn't know the word urinated.
How old is your son right now? How old is your son?
He has a disease. He is born in 1987. That's one son. The other one that was abused and adopted by adopted care, he was born in 97 with the brain disease, and I'm so distracted. And I was abused, but I stick up for him because I would have lost him in the system, and no one would have cared. But yet he was adopted or abused by the adoptees and taken wrongfully by the how he was, and thrown across the room. And had this brain disease, and so I kept taking, like what's the phone in my phone and all this stuff because I'm like. I'm advocating because he needs help for the age of the Huntington, the brain, and not just to be forgot about. And so now, finally, for all of this, it's finally like we're going to get neurologist and coming tomorrow, but all the abuse between the last, and he's been in the hospital 200 times and suicidal and this and that. He was trafficked to foster care, and I found him when he was 15. He's different. Or my daughter Brittany, daughter, I'm sorry, I don't want to mention names, but all these different kids. It's different stuff. My other daughters reported in Northern California, and they were ignored. And the guy got him before the trial, this wife, even though she said he touched this, and I sent it to the Department of Justice in 07, and they're waiting for different all of this stuff. But then in 08, the place got audited. I'm not sure, but there's different kids and different, and I got all these things to edit. But now it's like, well, let's expose who I am and how it's been hard for me, and this is why. And that's why I'm wanting to get the little girl piece.
Yeah, I understand that it's very traumatic. Now, you said you found your son at 15 on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Right, Christina?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what you're trying to do is trying to get him back.
No, he's back. And he's
okay.
in a hospital. He was abused. He was sexually abused by adoptees' friends. He was thrown across the room by the adoptees in his time for not picking the towel in the washing machine. My daughter was hurt by their friend. And he went, it's a bunch of stuff after she'd already, when she was 5, so now she's 10. When she was 5, she already told at the sheriff's department who had did what, but they had already given the guy the kid before.
Yeah. Shauna says you've got to keep your emotions. I know it's very hard, but you can't let your emotions get in the way. You got to fend off the corruption and know from experience, stay strong. That's what Shauna's saying. She's the lady that's the Cherokee from Oklahoma. She says that her case,
yeah, have to have a place while
right.
I read this stuff. So I'm not a basket case when I go down. The other kids weren't here for, so I can hold my wits about me while I keep rubbing my enemies and trying to fix things.
It's okay. It's okay, Christina. I'm feeling for you. If I was there, I'd put my arm around you and hold you because you will be okay. It takes time, but you need to stay with people that are treating you good. Now, if this congressman is wanting, does he want to put you on in front of Congress at Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, that's what we're taking it. We're taking how the law was broken. So my kid told the cop in the car and told at the police station that he didn't want to go home because dad raped him. And he goes, and it's not up to cop to not listen. Like, where was his rights when he already set up the hospital and they believed him, and my daughter, and where was the right? So the law is either broken or needs to be fixed, or let's talk about it, because it shouldn't have went like that, because there was nude pictures down on my daughter later, all the stuff that he did because he had him for the 7 years with no one caring, and CPS shutting the case after they had already told the police, and finally when CPS gets involved, and then there's a trial after he's had the kids for 4 months, and I want to address that.
You'll be able to. You just got to stay very calm and very collect and control your emotions. If you let your emotions get out there, they're going to take advantage and they're going to think you're crazy. They're going to think you're crazy. So that's why you have.
I wasn't expecting. I'd already broke down with. I just told my little girl piece. They just took it as a child protective report today. I already was broken, and I didn't expect to tell you again. I was just trying to figure out why I couldn't find you so I could listen to you. I wasn't expecting to do this.
Well, I'm glad that you did find me. I'm glad that you are talking to me. I'm caressing your shoulders. You got to calm down. You got to be strong. It's the hardest thing to give up. I've been there. I know what you're experiencing. And, I've reached out myself to a pastor of a church who's helping me through some issues that CPS has done to my children. And CPS is very, very corrupt. I've been fighting them for, almost 15 years. And it's sad because there's nothing I can really do. There was a gentleman on our show that wants to get rid of the whole government in the United States. And in 4 years, he wants to run for president. And so he has some radical ideas, but he's gone too far over radically. You can only change.
PTSD because they have his kid hostage. So when you talk about the PTSD from your grievance, and then you got to admit that they have it, it's just so hard to when you don't see your kids and you can't and you had a beautiful thing and they're just gone.
I know that. I have a daughter who just turned 22 on July 9th. I've not seen her. My wife's not seen her since age 12. The CP social worker wanted to do revenge because she was caught lying on the stand. And she told a big lie. And she said that she's going to get revenge. And she told her 12-year-old daughter to file for divorce from her parents, her brothers, her grandparents, her aunts and uncles and cousins, to change her name, to seal her birth certificate, and be adopted by foster care. And that was the last I've seen of her daughter. And it hurts me every day to talk about it. So I know what it is about losing children to CPS and how corrupt.
Yeah,
I also know how corrupt the police. Yeah, I know how corrupt the police is. The police were part of my problem. And it's very corrupt. Yeah, and I did have an attorney. I had the best in the land. But it was too late to get my daughter back. I waited too late to hire Vincent Davis. And I sold my home to give him the money to get my family back together. He got back my 2 boys. But it was too late for my daughter. When a daughter is 12 years old in the state of California, they can emancipate from their parents. You see, there's problems within our system. Children are given adult rights at 12, which is wrong. And children are steered by a rogue agency. The child protection system is wrong. They do not help. Look at yourself. You were a teenager in the streets, and they did not help you. They did not help you. Yes.
Right. Well, look at the Northern case when the CPS workers takes the stand and says that my daughter had told her that she had been violated, and my lawyer says, "Well, what did you do when she said that?" She goes, "Nothing," because she threw her hands up like she was nonchalant. So he's the one that's going to get custody of the other 2, and she's the one that tells the cop later after he gets them that who hurt her and what. And then, but she didn't report it, and then she ends up being a mental health person. It's horrible, and she's the one when I lose the kids through the babysitter. She's the one standing there, and it's CPS in Northern California. That's a whole different. But I'm adjusting that as well. That's separate, but it's bigger than the Vegas. Oh my God! But I already got it all done. It's just getting the it was in it's like I got so much stuff and binders and but I got to do the stuff that who's waiting for what, and I got to get that done, and it's like editing my little girl piece and not being able to do that. And I'm sorry I just broke down like I did. Like I just wasn't, like I said, 2 interviews, and I wasn't, just kind of like the first time I got interviewed by the horror stories. Like I was trying to talk about Brad, and you're asking me about my little girl piece, and I was in my sister's daughter's car, and I had suntan lotion on my glasses. I was trying to go scoot her to the park on my bike, and then her car, wasn't prepared. And then for him to ask about my case, I was there to talk about Brad and what I was going through. And since then, I've had a cell phone bust in my head and all this different stuff since that time when I was reaching out, because I'm like, I heard the girl talking and I've been struggling, and I just called, and I guess it was the wrong podcast, but it was. I'm sorry for that time as well, and I'm sorry for now.
Well, it's not the. It's still. You're drifting off there, Christina. You're drifting off. Are you back?
Yeah.
Okay. I know
Can
it's.
you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine. I know it's a very emotional time when you love your children, but you also have another double-edged sword there. You have been trafficked yourself. You've been abused as a young teenager, and unfortunately, you have a family. You have 2 children, right? A son and a daughter, correct?
No, I have more children, and all of the ones that were abused, like I said. I won't put names, or I'll say how many I'm fighting for being abused in some way or neglected through CPS or the police. I'm going to say how many kids I'm fighting for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 7 kids I'm fighting for different rights being violated and different reasons. And when I was said, when the kids were being trafficked and they weren't listening, and then now with the lives that happened in between, or what I'm telling probation, they're almost dying, and they just don't care because they've already given the abuser my kids years back when, so their lives don't matter. And then I just can't, just know that I'm working on my little girl piece, and it'll be good. And now I'm adding between the age of 15, 16, all my street life, no one cared. My sister hung up, and they closed the case and sent me to my sister's with no bed, and I'm exposing that. And then when they find me, they send me to where I hadn't been in 3 years, across state, with nobody to explain and no phone numbers, where I'm not going to have a bed. And then I'm going to meet someone 3 months later and marry, and who's going to be the abuser of my kids. And when I try to defend them, it's because I jump around a lot or this or that. They use my disability against me, and my kids will have no voice. And since then, I've been fighting because I know we're the rights to evolve. I just want to do that because they'll be my age, and no, it's what I'm doing. But I'm looking forward to getting that done. And thank you so much for your empathy, and even that you're listening.
Well, I'm very sincere. I'm very sincere. This podcast is put on to provide information from my experiences, and to have a room full of parents that have experiences they can share with each other. It's supposed to be a positive experience, and it's supposed to be something that maybe you didn't try or did not do. You see, I know CPS in and out. I've gone to the top dog in the county, and I could sue CPS. The problem being is it would take me a $50,000 retainer to have that attorney sue them, even though they're going to get 30% of what they win. So if they win $10 million or $20 million, they get 30%. But in order for me to start the case, I have to pay $50,000. I used all my life savings, and I used the sale of my home, the home that I had worked for over 40 years for. And that home is gone. And I'm barely eking out a life right now. It is so hard. I have my 2 sons still living with me and my wife, but we have very, very, very little income. And it's like once a week, I worry about how to feed my family or how to take care of my family. And it's really a challenge when you don't have very much money. And then when a disaster strikes, like right now, my modes of transportation for my interview for my jobs can barely work. It needs a new transmission. And I don't have the money for a new transmission. I did it one time, but I don't have it. So
Did you say it was 4,000?
yes, it's 4,000 for a new transmission.
You can have my Mercedes that's up north, not far from you, and I think it needs a
Yeah,
strap in that.
you're awful
You just have to
sweet.
put like
You're
a
awful
brand in it.
sweet there. As soon as I get to
Yeah,
work,
really fast.
back to work, because I want to work. I'm 74 years old. I still have a lot of years left in me. I still want to work. And so I'm determined to still get a job. But I'm teetering. This show helps me because I feel like I'm helping myself when I help you guys. I relieve the horrors and the mistakes I make. It's very hard in life when you don't have anybody to talk to. And so when I come in this room, I feel you guys are my friends and you talk to me. You say emojis, you say, you do a lot of things. You guys uplift me. And I too try to be very professional, not let my emotions kick in. But it's very hard when I, don't see my daughter who I'm not seeing now for 9 years. That's wrong. And
My daughter, she was July 9th, and I hadn't seen her in like 15 years. 16,
yeah,
and the alien
so it hurts
is
you.
trying to
It hurts you.
her.
And it's sad that people can be so vindictive.
I just sent her a text.
Yeah, people can be so vindictive. Now, Shannon, who's from Oklahoma, has said several messages I need to read because I don't know if you all see them. But
Okay. Yeah, I'm not looking.
Shannon here in Oklahoma, kids have more rights than parents and the corrupt ICW police. She is controlled by the Indian Child Welfare Group there in Oklahoma, the Cherokee. And that is solely for you exposing such. It's sick and sad, and we live in these days. That's why Shannon is stuck. It's sad that justice is not free to all those that can't pay the price. I agree with you. I'm sorry, what?
See how Shauna, how Shauna's native and Cherokee?
Yes.
My son, who I'm talking about, the 7-year-old, we were doing his genealogy, and he is so Cherokee with the chief there in Oklahoma, with the chief and all these names. I'm just collecting these records. I'm like, holy cow! And this is like great grandparents and all this stuff from Oklahoma and the census. Maybe I can. I just think that's pretty cool. Just you can tell her about that.
Well, the problem being
cool.
is the Cherokee Nation has 7,700 square miles of reservation. That's a big chunk of Oklahoma. The Attorney General is also the executive director of the Indian Child Welfare. And so she's wearing two hats and she's using it unfairly. Shannon is really being destroyed by the Indian Child Welfare Group, which is the first time I've heard that Indians have gone bad, because I was told that they would help children be placed in an Indian family and then help the parents reunite and have their family back together. And that was what the act of 1978 was. But apparently in Oklahoma, they're so corrupt that even they got control over the Oklahoma police. So Shannon is in a dire space there. She does have an attorney, but it's going slow and it's hard. The only way you're really going to fight anybody.
Up and maybe do a document and hand it to him and do the work for him, since he's like slow.
Well, she is trying to do. She's trying to do a lot of things. The problem is that when so many people are corrupt, it's hard to change the tide. Now, when I'm saying that, this is also at the federal level. There's an individual trying to run for president of the United States, but because the opposing party can't win, They've done nothing more than to corruptness, have the person tried for impeachment 3 times while in office, has numerous crimes, and try to do convictions in the state of New York that are wrong. And then on top of that, they tried to shoot him a couple of weeks ago. And he is still surviving. But now the opposing party's got a candidate because the current president stepped down because he knew he couldn't beat.
President Trump getting shot?
Yes, I am talking about President Trump.
I have letters of support from President Clinton when she was there because I emailed her right in the beginning, 6 months after I got, and that's why I can go through the Senate. Oh, you were asking me how it's privileged. I guess this would explain it. Is so when I right away email the White House or fax them, and then it takes 6 months and they apologize, and they got me to talk to someone in Carson City. But see, all this stuff with me going to all the schools and having a valid, disability, no one knows all that because like you guys say, and I had to defend them. I ran away and drank carnival. The last one was I remained the remainder of my adult life. No, I wish it was that simple. You have no. And so I had to write and write and write. And so being I'm losing my thought, but I'll remember. But anyways, I'm sorry if is it almost time for us? I have to hang up.
Yeah, it's getting close to the end of the show. Thank you for reminding me. We have about 4 minutes left, or 2 minutes left. And I want to thank you for talking. It seems like you've calmed down a lot, which is good. I know it's an emotional thing. I'm very emotional, and I try not to talk about politics, but we got to change the system. In order to change the system, we need somebody that can change the system, but we also need to make the changes within what we're structured. It's too hard to reinvent the wheel. And being a rebel is not the way to go. And you have to make changes that may be slow. But with my CPS people out there, I want you all to don't give up. Keep fighting. I know that there are 4 rules. I haven't refreshed them tonight, but rule number 1, of course, is get an attorney. Rule number 2 is to organize your paperwork. Rule number 3 is to say no to CPS or law enforcement to enter your home or to take your child. And then rule number 4 is the research. Spend 40 to 60 hours, know everything is about CPS in your city. You need to know everything there is about CPS. They're very corrupt individuals. All you have to do is think about the 8 pink ladies. Now, they weren't pink, but the T-shirts they were pink. And on the front, they had stenciled that they're professional child kidnappers. And on the back, they say, do you know where your children are at? That message is quite clear. That's what social workers are about. They're very corrupt. They're not transparent, and they don't care about you. Right now, my family is struggling. It wasn't so bad, but then I have lay people that are allowed to orchestrate the CPS, and that's what I hate about lay people giving false accusations. It's really sad. I'm sorry, what?
The false information is criminal libel.
Yeah, it will come in time. But I want to thank you, all my listeners. God bless you, and keep fighting for your case. But I got to sign up. I want to thank you, Christina, from California, formerly of Nevada. I want to thank Shannon, the Crow Indian from Oklahoma. And I want to thank, who else has come in here? And my absentee people, Natalie from West Hollywood, California, and Faye from Richmond, Kentucky. So thank you all for listening, and I'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. God bless you, and this is Bob Pace signing off.